boys.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Marta. This is my channel. We have a lot of fun here. I do all kinds of stuff here. Trash your treasures, budget-friendly DIYs. I love decorating my house and I like making my own stuff. I like shopping too, but you know, sometimes you just can't shop. Today I have a trash to treasure. My daughter was living in my house and so I had to put shelves, just makeshift shelves in my room so that I could put some of my craft stuff there so she could have this room, which is disgusting right now. You have no idea. I have a mattress in here. I mean, for crying out loud. I was looking at the shelves. I have nothing else to do but stare at things and craft and stare at things. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make a flag. If you don't know about Decor Steals, you better get on it. Get on it. Decor Steals has beautiful things. And I saw this American flag there, but it was like $80. And I was like, I want it, but no. So if you want to see how I did it, stick around. So my baby moved out to her own apartment and I'm going to miss her dearly. What I'm not going to miss are these ugly shelves in my bedroom. After what seemed like a lifetime, I get the shelf down and I sand it. This was just like a raw piece of wood. My husband got it from work. You know, they always have things laying around there as well as my job. So I just wanted to sand the whole thing and prepare it for staining. Now you can just go ahead and call me Lemony Snicket because I wrote the book on unfortunate events. Don't even know where to begin, but let me just start at the beginning. So I started by trying to score the wood like I do with my Dollar Tree MDF signs to make them look like wood. I will leave a couple of videos down below so that you could see what I mean. So I took this long level to use it as a guide and I tried to do the same thing. And it didn't work. Go figure. This is real wood, but it just didn't work. Gave in and I just made the lines with a pencil. I really should have done that from the beginning, but you live and you learn. And that, my friends, was my first mistake. My second mistake was making these lines as wide as the level. And I'll explain that later. So I lay down some painter's tape and I'm going to separate all of the areas so that I can stain them different colors. I'm going to start off by using my Briar Smoke stain, which I love. I recently bought more stain. I went to Home Depot with a mask and gloves, and I ran in and bought some stain. And when I say ran, I mean ran. Anyway, TMI. Using a sock, which is what I use to stain, an old sock, new sock, doesn't matter. Peter Parker socks, that's my husband. He's missing quite a few pair, but you didn't hear it from me. So once I'm done with this color, I move the tape down and I go in with my new stain, which is this golden oak. It's such a pretty color. And I don't mind if the stains kind of run into one another. This is rustic farmhouse decor and I like it just fine. It really doesn't bother me. I'm trying to stay within the lines that I made, but you know, I don't freak out if it goes over. I just wipe it. So I move the tape down once again, and now I go in with my dark walnut stain. You can see there, I'm trying to do it with my pointer finger and really get close. But, you know, it didn't really work. I had to go in with a very, very small paintbrush and fill in that gap. And that did the trick. It worked really, really well. So when I'm done with the dark walnut, I go back to the Briar Smoke. I'm alternating colors here. I'm only working with 3 stains at this point. And I love the way that this came out. So far, so good. Everything's working out just the way I had planned. I even did all around the edges with the Briar Smoke and we were all good. Except for one thing. A real flag has 13 stripes and I wanted to make this as authentic as possible. This only had 7. Now, the very last stripe was very small. It measured about 1.5 inches. If you've been following me for a while, you know I can't do math to save my life. But somewhere along the line, I had an epiphany. I measured the wider stripes and they were about 3 inches or so. So I figured that I could split them in half. And lucky me, I got 13 stripes. And all I did was just mark it with a pencil so that I knew exactly where I had to make my extra lines. So I lay down some more painter's tape above and below my new lines, and I go in with my Rust-Oleum white linen chalk paint. Second mistake. Oh boy. Now I already didn't like the way it looked, but I kept going, praying that when I was done, it would look better. Wrong answer. It looked horrible. I really didn't like it at all. It wasn't the look that I was going for. So I got this bright idea that I was going to go over the white painted lines with some Varathane weathered oak stain. Now I know the YouTube stain police is going to come after me. That is not the way you do that. I know that this is not the way you do that, and I am not trying to teach you how to do it this way. But I'm no professional. I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden. I am just here to show you what I make, mistakes and all. I bring you along for the ride, and hopefully along the way I can give you either some motivation, inspiration to try new things. Anyway, I did the weathered oak thing and hated it. So I took black paint mixed with water and went over the weathered oak. And I'm sitting here laughing because I know that some people are going to be mortified. But I really do like the way that this came out in the end. So to make my stars, I used my Cricut machine and I created a stencil. My stencil has 50 stars because, like I said, I really wanted this to look like a real flag, like an authentic flag. And all I do is just pull out all of the bits, the pieces of the vinyl that I'm not going to be using, and then I'm going to be using some Dollar Tree contact paper. I use this all the time to adhere my vinyl to my projects for stencils. It's cheap and it works very well in my opinion. I just don't see the need to buy anything, you know, more expensive. Now when you're removing your stencil, I know a lot of people have trouble with this. I used to have a lot of trouble with it, but I find it much easier to rock the paper sort of like from side to side when removing it from the backing. So I go ahead and put my stencil down. I take my Waverly white chalk paint and a Dollar Tree makeup sponge, and I just start stenciling away like a maniac. This is something else that I really am no professional at. I'm not good at this. I just learned that I have to take my time and do it gently. You know, it looks like I'm pouncing this sponge on there only because it's going fast, but I'm really doing it very gently, not adding too much paint when you first start, you know, the first layer, because you will get bleeding. So you just have to, you know, take your time. You can always add more paint if you didn't have enough. When it dries a little, you can see the areas that are going to need more paint. And I don't pull up the stencil right away. I give it about maybe 4 minutes or so, let it kind of set, and then I pull up the stencil and remove any of the, you know, little bits that didn't come up. I'm going to polyurethane this, so before you polyurethane, you really should sand a bit. I'm using Varathane's water-based matte polyurethane. I didn't have a sponge brush. I usually do this with a sponge brush, but I did read somewhere where you can use a lint-free cloth, and I didn't have one of those, but I did have Peter Parker's t-shirt. His t-shirt and sock drawer is empty. I'm cracking myself up here. So I give it one coat of the polyurethane. I may go in later and do more. Now, I didn't know what I was going to hang this up with. It's pretty heavy, but I do save like all these nuts, bolts, all kinds of things. And I found these from, I guess it was something that I bought, and I took these off. And using some wood screws, I drilled them onto the back of the flag on either side.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arm. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed. Deep in the biting, liking for you is all I need, until my heart gives in.
I am really happy with the way that this flag turned out. I've wanted one of these for such a long time and really couldn't justify paying $80 for it. Now, if you are going to make it, I would just suggest to make sure you get your 13 stripes together and your colors together before you start. But like I said, all in all, I am really happy with the way it turned out. I put it in my kitchen. It kind of goes with the vibe in there right now. 40 inches wide and 15 inches in height. It fills up this really big wall in my kitchen very nicely. But it may not stay in here. I just may put it over my mantle or something. If you don't have stencils, I think Dollar Tree sells a stencil that has a star in it, if I'm not mistaken. You can even do these by hand. My hands shake, so I didn't even want to attempt it. If you don't like stain, you can do this with just regular paint. I'm just, you know, I love stain. I work with stain all the time. It's not a big deal, but you can do this with paint. This video is dedicated to all of our amazing veterans, past and present. Thank you so very much for your service. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button if you did, and don't forget to subscribe. It really does help a sister out. You know what I'm saying? Stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, stay inspired. I love you, and I will see you in the next one, my friends.